It's your friendly neighborhood Valsider here, and I am bringing you something a little bit different. I have a competitive class setup video. Still, because a lot of people ask about classes, and in particular people ask why I run Stalker, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Alright, basically my role is as a Slayer. I don't think Slayers in this game have the same ultra sort of slay role as they did in Modern Warfare 2. For example, like High Rise, you basically just got some height and raped everything with a FAMAS or ACR. It was sort of the team that hold the high ground and just slayed. Usually it was the winner of the map. In this game, Slayers sort of more like sheep herders. Your sort of role is more to manipulate spawns or flags, just to get cut-offs and to be a little bit more static at times, just ensuring your team gets map control and positioning. Right, onto the class setup. My class is pretty similar to any other pro player. I use the ACR purely because of its accuracy. It's probably is the go-to gun for this game, and its reload is nice and quick. Proficiency-wise, I use focus and not kick because I sort of spend a lot of my time ADS due to Stalker and win a lot of gun battles up close because of focus. I find my battles are usually close range, like I just said, because I don't sit back quite as deep as some Slayers do to actually find kick to be useful. I prefer that the bullets bounce up a little bit higher at the body to get those flinch headshots. Secondary, Magnum tack knife. You really don't need to use any other gun. It's damage at close range, and its accuracy at long range is just the best. I don't know why you use anything else. Lethal grenades, semtex and concussions. Obviously, pretty well everything other than smoke is banned, and you don't really need smoke as a Slayer. Concussions get the job done. I prefer semtex to frag because I don't like cooking frags in this game as often because they just don't do enough damage to warrant the time spent holding a little damn thing in my hand. Alright, perks, like I said, I use sleight of hand, obviously, because I like to reload quickly. I sometimes use extreme conditioning. It just depends on the map, depends on my breakout. I definitely don't use it all the time. I use it here and there because I'm typically the guy that's throwing stuns and nades pretty well a few seconds off spawn, because normal sprint time I think is 4 seconds, extreme conditioning is 8 seconds, so I'm the guy that throws the nades, so I really don't need... I'm usually throwing those nades within that 4 seconds, or I sprint cancel if it's a little bit longer, so I really don't need that extra time to run around. Red perk, quick draw. It's really the best perk in the slot. You really don't need anything else. Besides that, I've always wanted to be able to throw my grenades faster and faster and faster. It's probably one of my favourite Call of Duty perks that has ever existed. Death Streak is hollow points because that's what it has to be, because that is the rules. I don't know if the MLG players are using Juiced or not, but hollow points is definitely the way to go. You definitely don't get that often, and it's not that noticeable in gameplay. Even though it's still kind of bullshit to have there, you can't turn it off at all. Here we go, yellow perk. Here comes the king, and that is Stalker. A lot of people ask why I use Stalker. Yeah, I use Dead Silence. I use it in Search. I love Dead Silence. Always love Dead Silence. I don't like people hearing me, but this game, you don't get sound horde as much, and it's not quite as big of a deal as it was in Black Ops. There's a lot of ambient noise. Like, take Bootleg for example, it's raining all the time, and there's just gun sounds and just shit happening on every other map. Also, another contributing factor is there's a lot less verticality in the maps. It's usually reasonably flat and only like 1 to 2 stories, and not many options for people to be above you like there was in, per se, Favela or High Rise and stuff like that. I think we're going to segue into some gameplay here in a second. I love my Stalker because there's just so much more time with your gun up. It's so versatile for checking areas and just being quick about it. You can just check with your gun ready and not have to like sort of sprint cancel, just to be quick to check areas to move up. So you can basically eliminate any chance of that randomness of you just having your gun down and not being ready for that like 0.2 of a second, so you lose a gunfight. I find you can bob and strafe so much more effectively. Or what I mean by that is so you crouch up and down on cover to prevent people from having such an easy straight up shot on you. On that movement note, I've always been a big fan of games with fluent and just fast and easy movement, so I really tend to avoid games where moving feels clunky and just shit. I've always been a fan of the Spider-Man games just because I like running around and moving around. I love Mirror's Edge, and it's why I love Gears of War, just because it's so fluent and smooth. I also find that Stalker has really helped with my shot, because like a lot of other games that I used to play before Call of Duty, when you're ADS or when you were just shooting in general, when they were back before there really was much ADS stuff, your strafe would be really quick and you'd be moving side to side really quick, and like strafe would be important to win a gunfight. Like you'd outstrafe people in Gears, you'd outstrafe people in Halo, and it'd be the deciding factor of a gunfight. In this, when you're ADS, you pretty well just locked to the spot, and it's whoever's got the best accuracy and whoever happens to have their gun up first, or just seems to be the luckiest at the time. So I'm very much used to sort of strafing to align my shots. I did that in a lot of Unreal Tournament, a lot of Quake, and a lot of Halo with that strafe. And that's sort of gone now until I picked up Stalker. So I can strafe a lot of my shots. I can get a lot of accuracy now. I can move around corners and jump around corners while ADS and then keep moving instead of being sort of jumping around a corner and then getting rooted to the ground. A lot of people steer clear of Stalker purely because of the noise factor. Like COD's always been a big sound horror game. You do get people like to sit in corners and just listen to you and shoot you in the back, but it's not quite like Black Ops anymore, where you can basically like drop a pin on one side of the map and you'll have 4 AKs or 4 FAMASs in whatever case, whatever country you're from, just blasting you, where it was a necessity. But now this game isn't so much. There's so much ambient noise, so much bullshit going on around you. There's just constant gunfire. Your teammates should be screaming comms at you, and a lot of the maps have got like rain, like bootlegs constantly rain. You can't hear anything anyway. Another big factor is there's not a lot of verticality to the maps anymore. What I mean by that is like sort of favela. Think favela, like there was a couple of like 3 stories at least to the map, and you could hear people above you, beside you, around you at all times. And this is sort of like 1, maybe 2 floors if you're lucky. So you'll occasionally be running around somewhere, I don't know, as you say like top, mid, and bootleg, and you'll hear you'll have someone hear you underneath and they'll just be pre-aiming you, but it's not that big of a deal. And that's basically why I've stuck with Stalker, because of how almost redundant sound has become. In saying all that, I don't suggest just stop using Dead Silence, like it's got its place, but I definitely recommend throwing Stalker in a class and giving it a go. It's so much more versatile. Though it does have a little bit of a learning curve. I definitely fell off a lot of little things I stood on, like lost little bits of railing, and which you stand on in COD, you will fall off. But I highly recommend it, give it a go. Alright, I've definitely rambled on for long enough. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. I'd really appreciate some likes, some comments, and some subscriptions. That'd be really cool. Thanks guys, this is Farsighter out.